Welcome to issue 312 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel, and joining me tonight is Steve.
Hello. How are you?
Fantastical. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Wonderful. And we are also accompanied by Scott. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. You haven't gotten rid of me yet, and I am delighted to continue to be here every day, living the dream. At least while I'm on the show.
Every day, he says.
Every day.
Everything else is a nightmare.
If this is your dreams, you need bigger and better dreams, man.
You know what? I just want the escape.
Okay.
And I'm happy to have it.
You're going to get it here. Yeah.
That's right. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. I mean, plenty of us villains do escape anytime we get locked up, so we're okay. It's all right.
Yeah. It's part of our DNA. So how are you, Daniel?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Dandruff, what's on your mind tonight?
You just call me Dandruff?
I don't know. Did I?
Sounds like it.
I think so.
Scott, did you hear that?
I mean, I don't know. What did he say?
Anyways, what is on your mind tonight?
He said what? I remember that part.
Well, guys, so I have, and this could be part of being a Pisces, but I have over my life perfected, I think, squandering money. So I think that I'm pretty good at buying things I don't need, and
there's a club that we're in, right? Because I'm definitely part of this club.
Yeah. And so speaking of clubs, so a friend of mine owns a restaurant here in my neighborhood of Brookland in DC called Primrose. And it's a wonderful French restaurant and stuff. And he has this wine club that you can be a part of. And so like once a month, you show up and you get a tasting of the 4 wines of that month. And then you go home with those 4 bottles. Okay. Now, that was how I spent my afternoon today, being there and picking those up and having a little tasting and hanging out with people. But it also got me into the mode here of what's happening tonight, because I brought my good friend Georges with me to taste some of these wines. And we particularly liked the 2014 Domaine Jourdain des Trois Quartiers, which was a fantastic Pinot. And so I am something of a wine person, and my friend Sebastian, he's all about finding some weird, funky stuff. And I was just thinking about how, the other week I was talking about the doom scrolling and how you can occupy your time probably, in better ways. And I thought, I spend a lot of money on silly stuff like board games and this, that. But then I was also thinking, is it really wasting your money when it gets you out of the house, gets you talking to people, gets you part of another little community, you're thinking about stuff, you're meeting? Ultimately, I think it was a good thing. Is it $120 a month that could be put to some other, maybe more, I don't know, better use? Probably. But is it sustaining me and making me happy? Yes. And what's the price tag on that, gentlemen? I don't know.
It's different for everyone.
That's a MasterCard commercial right there.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's on my mind is unnecessary expenditures, are those necessarily a net negative thing, right? I think not. I think that I need this little club in my life for now,
Yeah, everybody has to have a hobby. Daniel's is day drinking, so
Hey,
I don't think he's the only one.
No, there's a whole club he's part of, so yeah.
I was gonna say, fellas, it's we live in those times.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's not a negative when you're doing it with other people. Seth Meyers has a whole show about it. Come on. It's totally normalized. It's fine.
Thanks, man. But we're not here to talk about wine or French people. Oh, wait, maybe we are here to talk about French people.
We are here to talk about French, a French person at least.
Oui.
Yeah,
All
we're going
right.
to talk about Georges Batroc, the Leaper, because
Oh,
Georges is his first name and Batroc is his last name. You guys ready? So we're gonna get into his villain scenario. So I'm gonna give you some good old lore on Mr. Leaper.
I hope that he was in a carnival at one point or a circus. That's all I want. I know nothing about this guy. Surprise.
All right, well let's jump in here, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah, strap in for that. Batroc the Leaper. He is living proof that if you jump at enough opportunities and people, eventually Marvel will let you keep doing it for decades.
Oh,
Born
okay.
Georges Batroc in France, because of course he was. This mercenary decided early on that guns were too grounded, knives were too stabby, and what the criminal underworld really needed was a man whose primary skill set could be summarized as parkour but aggressively French. Thus was born Batroc the Leaper, a villain who doesn't walk into a room, he bounds, he vaults, he spring loads into it like gravity personally insulted him. So we first get to see Batroc in the Tales of Suspense number 75, 76, and 77 in 1959.
Whoa.
Yeah, this guy is old school. He's an early Captain America foil. So he's been around a long, long time. Okay. Before we get into any of his story, let's talk about his power set. All right, let's hop right into what he can do. So Batroc has no superpowers, none.
Love it.
Okay. And it is kind of impressive considering how much airtime he actually gets, and what we see him do and who he faces off against throughout the decades. What he does have, and this is somewhat timely, is he has Olympic level agility, according to the official Marvel ability, right?
Olympic level. Okay.
Olympic level, right. He's winning the gold in anything that requires leaping and jumping. He has peak human leg strength, okay? And he is a master of savate, savate, S-A-V-A-T-E, which is a French martial arts that is like a French kickboxing, okay?
Okay.
And it proves that since it's French, it proves that kicking can be classy. And I think probably his calves should be like registered as lethal weapons because it's ridiculous. And thanks to this training and his ability, he can jump several stories straight up. He can bounce from.
Wait a minute. And you said he has no superpowers?
He just can. We have seen him jump several stories in one go, in one bound.
In a standing leap.
Yep, standing leap.
That is definitely Olympic skill level.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little beyond.
Why is he not in the NBA? He could make so much more.
He could make so much more. Yes, you're right. You're right. He could. Well, he doesn't have the hand skills. It's all leg day. He skips everything but leg day.
Give him the ball and he jumps all the way down and dunks it every time.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. We see him bounce from wall to wall. We can see him kick Captain America hard enough to make Captain Shield reconsider all of its life choices. He is functionally a human exclamation point. Okay. He always arrives mid-sentence and he leaves before you can say, was that guy hopping? So he enters into the Marvel universe not as some like cackling villain. He drops in, knees bent, morals intact, and immediately finds himself leaping into one of the most misjudged moments of his career. So this is one of these poorly understood villains. I think we can all eventually get behind if we could keep up with him. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to kind of give you his origin when we first see him, and then next week we'll talk a little bit about some of his other stories and a good reading moments. But so here, this is his very first appearance, and it kind of sets the tone for who Batroc is going to be throughout the rest of his decades in the comics. So his big moment when he first appears, he comes alongside Captain America. He often battles Captain America. So he shows up with Captain America and an unnamed but extremely familiar female-shaped shield agent. Wink, wink, Sharon Carter-shaped shield agent. She's not named yet, but it is Sharon Carter. Okay. And this is during a job with a substance called Inferno 42, which is so volatile that it could destroy New York in a catastrophic blink of an eye. I don't know if Inferno 42 is ever referenced again outside this set of 3 comics. So, all right, we'll be clear. Batroc is a mercenary, and he is in the comic because his job is to collect the package, collect the Inferno 42 from the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and give it to his employers. He's a mercenary. He's not a saint. But things do take a sudden turn midair, because during the initial encounter, the casing around the Inferno 42 cracks, thanks to Captain America crashing the party between Batroc and Sharon Carter. So Cap just shows up in his street clothes and starts smashing things, and he smashes the casing on the Inferno 42, and it's going to go critical now, and all of New York is in danger. So what does Batroc do? Well, he doesn't bounce. He doesn't bolt. He doesn't leap for the nearest exit. Instead, he springs into action to save the city. Okay. So working with that very same S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that we don't know is Sharon Carter, but it's totally Sharon Carter, he helps recover the package and stabilize it for the moment, because blowing up all of New York City is like a line he just won't jump over, right? He's not about to cross that line.
Business.
No. He might leap from rooftop to rooftop for cash, but mass murder? No. He is not a monster. He is a gentleman. Okay. He just happens to be a gentleman who commits some crimes and fights capitalism with his legs first. Okay. During the encounter with Captain America, as if juggling, a city-ending isotope isn't enough, Batroc also has to deal with Captain America's very U.S.-centric opinions. Because during the fight, Batroc is speaking French. He speaks English and French. He's bilingual, at least bilingual. He might speak other languages. And sometimes he slips into French or he says things. And Captain America yells at him and says, "Stop speaking French. Speak English." The man's from France.
It's not very cultural or tolerant of another person's culture, huh?
Right. Cap's supposed to be this all, good guy. But, picture this. The Frenchman speaks French occasionally. And Cap says, "That goes against the grain. Speak English." So it's kind of ridiculous. But
America,
yeah. Even way back then. You could practically hear him thinking, "Mon Dieu, I leap buildings, and even I can't jump over your logic, Captain America." Right? Come on. Let the guy speak his native language. Okay, anyways. Batroc is still a professional. He doesn't rise to the bait. He takes the high ground, literally and figuratively, both in this instance, because he jumps straight up several stories. So he saved the city once, sort of by dealing with the Inferno 42. But during the battle between Batroc and Cap, Sharon Carter escapes with the Inferno 42 because S.H.I.E.L.D. wants it or something is happening. And Batroc and Cap both can't let her go with it. So they team up just a few pages later to chase her down to collect it. Now, they both want it for different reasons, but for the moment, it is they're united for a common cause. They gain access to her S.H.I.E.L.D. hideout that she runs into. Once she gets in there, she unleashes the building's various traps, and there's all kinds of guns and defense systems, and the floor falls apart, and there's spikes down there. Effectively, it's a murder machine, and she's trying to kill them both. So now she doesn't know who either of them are at the time, because Cap is wearing his civvies. He's not in uniform. There's no time for speeches. There's no moral debate. It's like a full contact sprint, right? Batroc and Cap throw down again because they kind of get to the end of this place. There's a moment that deserves a little more credit than it gets, because Batroc actually takes Cap out. He knocks Captain America for a wallop, and down goes Cap, right? It's a nice, clean, efficient textbook, perfect execution. And that sets the stage for 60 more years of the two of them doing battle against one another. Who can be the better, who's the better hand-to-hand combat, or who's the better foot-to-hand combatant, whichever way you want to look at it. Batroc actually gets the Inferno 42, and he takes it back to them, who I think eventually becomes AIM. Scarlet Rhodey mentioned them. This is one of those cases where we see them, all capital letters. We don't really know who they are. And he goes to take it back to them, but Captain America recovers. He follows Batroc, Because of course he does. There's another fight breaks out in a different location, and whatever, this evil cabal has the Inferno 42. Batroc has done what he's supposed to do. He delivers it to them, but then he realizes, maybe they shouldn't have it. It looks like maybe it's going to go nuclear again, and Cap is there to fight him, and Batroc says, you know what, hang on, I'm not really a villain, so how about we have a truce? You and I have a truce, because the real villains, the guys who now have this city-ending substance, are escaping. The bomb is still in play, and Batroc decides he's going to leap past his ego. He wants to go right to saving lives. He has this turn of heart, but Cap is distracted, and Cap doesn't want to have a truce because he sees that Carter is around, and because she's chased him down because she wants it for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, good Lord.
Right. So what does Cap do? He refuses the truce. Okay? Cap lets the actual villains escape with it because he's chasing closure, because Sharon Carter looks like Peggy Carter, and he's sick over her, and there's this whole like, it can't be her, but it must be her, and we know that Sharon Carter is Peggy Carter's niece or something like that, right? Cap's all emotional, so he's thinking with his heart, not his head, and he lets the villains escape. Batroc says, okay, the only way this is going to work is if I actually just leave, and then maybe Cap will go after them, because Cap's mad at Batroc, because it's this whole triangle, whatever. So Batroc says, all right, I'm going to do the heroic thing. I'm going to bounce. I'm just going to leave, and maybe Cap will then chase after them instead of dealing with me and thinking about Sharon Carter because Peggy is here, or whatever it is. It's a mess. But Batroc goes. Batroc's gone. He's out. So now it's up to Captain America to save this city and chase the villains down. But instead, he goes back to his girl, and he's like, oh no, she's hurt. And he goes and he helps her, and he lets the villains escape because of Miss Carter here. Yeah. I mean, it turns out later on that we learned that he magically swapped the Inferno 42 with a fake and the whole thing, and he knew that it wasn't real and all this sort of stuff, and he was just chasing Batroc to punch him because he's mad at him. The whole thing is kind of weird at the end. But Batroc doesn't know any of that, and he wants to not let the city blow up. So he's like, all right, I'm just going to leave, and you can take care of the real villains, and Cap doesn't do that, but he doesn't know. So in the end, Batroc helps prevent a citywide catastrophe. He works with his enemies in order for a greater good. He saves New York technically twice in this storyline. He offers peace when it matters, and he leapt away so that others could succeed. And if that, my friends, is villainy, then the bar for heroism must be set impossibly high.
Hear, hear.
That's how we first meet Batroc.
He sounds like a dashing Frenchman.
He is a dashing Frenchman. And I want to talk about that a little bit next week, actually. So,
well, thanks, Steve. That was good learning.
Yeah, thank you for that wonderful backstory. I knew none of that. That was very enlightening.
Yeah, he is a fun character. And like I said, next week I want to talk about a little reading list in where we can learn more about who he is and how he has evolved over the years and that sort of thing. But I think now it's time to jump into the cards, maybe.
Well, Steve, can I ask you a question about the art? So the art we see on his villain card by Andrea Di Vito and Laura Villari, is that a contemporary picture? That's not him in 1959 or whatever.
No, he starts off in his purple costume, very sleek, and he wears that for a long time. This brown one that he's in it's not comic art, but is modeled after comic art. We will see that in some of the encounter cards. And that brown costume comes from the run All New Captain America number 1 through whatever it is, 10 or something, where Sam Wilson is Captain America, where Falcon becomes Captain America in 2014. So most of our art comes from that run or is inspired by that run with this brown outfit. He only wears that in this one run. Otherwise, he's in his purple kind of leotard suit sort of thing. Old stuff all the way through the other things. He's in that too. Even after the 2014 stuff, when he's with MODOK, he's wearing his purple outfit with this mask, and he doesn't have this whole hood and all this other stuff.
Now, Batroc is very nicely toned armor. But Scott, would you agree that it looks like the abs are part of the suit, like when you wear like a shirt that seems to have like your six pack built in?
Yes, absolutely. He
Okay.
he
It
looks
doesn't look
he
real.
looks no, it looks fabricated and or like he has some sort of asymmetrical like 12 pack. It's at
Yes.
least an 8 to 10 pack.
Okay, so and those people watching the YouTube, you can look in our minion chat. I posted a picture of Batroc with his shirt off, and he is fit. The man has a six pack, and like this brown art of his villain, that should just be a form fitting suit. It shouldn't be like a Batman suit where it's like molded with nipples on it. Like this
It
brown
does
thing is.
it does look form fitting because the lines from his arm through his pecs are consistent, right? So it
Yeah,
does look like that's really just supposed to be the shape of his body.
yeah. This art might be a little like anatomically odd, but he is fit like that. He is toned like that, and this costume he's wearing should be like super tight, right? So it's not the costume that is the form; it's his form that is coming through the costume.
Elsa just walked by and was like, "Is this what you guys talk about here?"
Usually,
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Nipple suits.
ooh la la. So yeah,
All right. Well, okay. You were saying something about cards, Steve. Is that what we're doing here?
yeah. Let's leap into the cards. Okay, so Batroc is found in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box. He's our second scenario. 21 total cards, 12 by title. Tonight we're going to look at the first 6 cards. So somebody else can read the villain. I've been talking for a few minutes.
Take it away, Scott.
Oh, me then. Well, let's start with he has 2 sides. He has an A side and a B side. Let's start with side A. He has 1 scheme, 2 attack, with an asterisk on his attack that has a forced response. After Batroc attacks, place 1 threat on alert level, which we'll get to the alert level here in just a little bit. He has the Batroc's Brigade trait and the Mercenary trait, and a forced interrupt that when Batroc would be defeated, reset his hit points to 8 instead, then remove 6 threat from the main scheme. He only has 8 hit points to begin with, so that's just setting them back to his normal amount of health.
And that's 8 static. It's not per player.
Yeah, it's not 8 per.
Correct. 8 static. And then he has his B side, which is very similar, but has 2 scheme instead of 1 scheme. The forced response is the same, that after he attacks, we're going to place 1 threat on alert level, and the forced interrupt when Batroc would be defeated, reset his hit points to 12 instead, and then remove the 6th threat. And of course, he has 12 hit points total. That's our villain.
So
Yeah.
on paper, he seems a little measly.
But he cannot die.
He can't be defeated completely. He bounces back. And I think we have to definitely look through the rest of the cards to see, like, what is alert level? Why are we removing threat from the scheme?
Yeah, how do we win?
Yeah, how do we win? How does he win? We did talk last week about his brigade and him. He, like we said, he has no superpowers. So a 2/2 or a 1/2. He's not a great schemer. He's a mercenary for hire. So I think his numbers are okay. I mean, the hit points are very specific to this scenario. So,
well, you don't need superpowers, Steve, when you're just a charming, attractive French man.
that is true.
I knew lots of girls in high school that went to France for the summer and changed everything.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, let's talk about his main scheme then, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So his main scheme is called Infiltrate AIM Island Embassy. This is 1A. Contents Batroc A or B if you're doing expert. Batroc in standard encounter sets, and then 2 modular sets, AIM Science and Batroc's Brigade. Okay. So setup. Set each rescued captive ally aside. Put the alert level environment into play. Low side face up. In expert mode, place 2 threat per player on alert level. Okay, then you're going to flip it to 1B, and you sneak into the AIM Island Embassy in search of the abducted S.H.I.E.L.D. specialist Sarah Garza. There you come face to face with the mercenary known as Batroc, the Leaper. All right, starts with 6 threat per player. wow, goes up 1 per player and has a force interrupt. When this last threat is removed from the scheme, advance to stage 2A. Now, we win by advancing, but if this stage is completed, the players lose the game.
And it tops out at 12 per player, right? So
yeah. So it starts out halfway done.
halfway done. Yep.
Yikes. Okay. Well, Steve, what happens when you do actually remove the last threat?
All right. We flip to 2A, locate missing person. Now that you've penetrated the embassy, you need to locate Garza. You discover several holding cells in the embassy's basement. Hopefully, one of them holds the kidnapped tech. So this story is very much tied to the rule book and the campaign, right? Because we didn't mention any of this in the lore. All right, but we flip it to 2B, and it starts at 3 per player. It goes up by 1 per player, and it tops out at 10 per player. With the force to interrupt, when the last threat is removed from the scheme, put 1 set-aside rescued captive ally into play, exhausted under any player's control. The players may advance to stage 3A. If they do not advance, place 3 threat per player here. The players win by advancing, but will need at least 1 rescued captive to survive. That's our reminder text here. And then if this stage is completed, the players lose the game. Okay, so we remove threat from stage 1. We get to stage 2. We remove threat from stage 2. We rescue a captive, which we'll talk about. And then you can either keep looking for captives, or you can move on to the next step in the next stage.
Pro tip, look for more captives.
Yeah, grab a couple more at least, right?
That's right. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Well, then you have to extract the captives with main scheme 3A, where you didn't find Garza, but you did discover several other civilian prisoners. You must get them out safely. When revealed, when this comes into play, if the alert level is on its high side, you deal each player 1 face-down encounter card. Otherwise, remove all threat from alert level and flip it to its high side. In either case, in expert mode, place 2 threat per player on alert level. Now, the 3B side is the extract captives main scheme. It has an 18 threat per player threshold. But in expert mode, each minion gains quick strike. It has enforced interrupt that when an enemy attacks, it attacks a rescued captive instead. And if there's no threat here, the players win the game. Whereas if the stage is completed or there are no rescued captive allies in play, the players lose the game. It goes up by 1 threat per player, and it starts with 12 threat per player on it.
Yeah, okay.
That's why you want to rescue all of them, so you can use 3
That's
as
right.
chump blockers.
That's right. Well, because they're getting attacked. If any minions come out, they're coming straight at those rescue
Daniel,
captives.
are you pushing the old lady in the art in front of Batroc?
Yep,
Is that what you're
that's
doing?
right.
Oh, I
Yep.
don't think he would go after her, actually.
Yeah.
But his
yeah.
minions might. His minions might. Okay.
That's funny. Okay. We'll talk about how this thing works either at the end of this issue or next week, but I'm going to spoil a little bit to say I absolutely love the design of the schemes.
Yeah, they're fun because we get to advance through as players.
Yep.
But if any of them complete, normally the players lose.
Yep.
You can still lose by damage, right?
Sure. Yep.
And then by the time you get to here, by the time you get to extract captives, if you lose all your captives, you lose as well. So there's like extra loss conditions. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really, and we have already talked about how we like alternate designs, right? Alternate win conditions. So this one's cool. And if things are going poorly, you've got to we only got 2 of them, but we got to go,
yeah, right.
Happens. This alert level we hear so much about. Let's talk about that. So this is an environment. It's a double-sided environment, has low alert level on one side and high on the other. The game starts with it on low. And then it says if there is at least 4 per player threat here, remove all threat from here and flip this card. So you would be flipping it to its high side. Force response. After a character is defeated, except by consequential damage, place 1 threat here. Hero action, spend 1 resource of any type, remove 1 threat from here. Okay. And remember, the most common way to get threat on here is Batroc attacks you.
Right.
All right. There are other things, of course, that are going to add to the threat level. But should it flip, and it will flip as soon as you get to the third act of our schemes, on high, Batroc gets +1 scheme and +1 attack. And then if there's at least 4 threat here per player, the players lose the game. So we now have our third way of losing.
Yeah.
Force response after a character is defeated, except by consequential damage. Place a threat here, and the same hero action to spend a resource of any type to remove a threat. So cool.
Technically, I guess it's really the fourth way you could lose. There could be the main scheme could complete. There could be no rescued captives. The alert level could top out, or you
And
could
then
just
you
die.
could just get punched to death.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. 4.
Awesome.
Yikes.
So many ways to lose.
And
Love it.
only one way to win. All right.
All right, we have one more card here we got to talk about, are these rescued captives. So these are allies that get put off to the side at the start of the game, and obviously they come out right during Scheme 2. So they have a dash for cost. They are a 1 thwart with a consequential damage, a 1 attack with a consequential damage, 5 health, civilian traded, victory -1, does not count against your ally limit. Card abilities cannot remove this ally from play. And a hero action, exhaust rescued captives, remove 1 threat per player from the main scheme. Cool. So
again, pro tip, always do that.
Yes.
yeah, it's very
your
helpful.
4-player.
Yeah, it's crazy powerful.
Yeah, now it is a hero action, so you can't do it if you're an alter ego, right?
Sure.
I have used them to thwart or attack because their hero action is only the main scheme, and if a crisis gets involved, you might want to pull an extra threat with them. I've used them to attack to ping off a tough, but you don't want them to be defeated, so it's like a balancing act with letting them take damage.
Right.
Yep.
You got to be careful.
And they're going to get attacked when you're in the third act, right? When an enemy attacks, it attacks a rescued captive instead. Yeah.
You can still jump into their defense, right? So
yeah, you can assign an ally or a player. The interesting thing, it says when an enemy attacks, it attacks a rescued captive. It doesn't say a rescued captive you control, because it says when you rescue a captive, any player can gain control of it. So you could pile all of the rescued captives up with Daniel, and then when Scott gets attacked, it still goes after a rescued captive, right?
That's right.
That's how I read it.
Yep. So you can't like game it by trying to push them off to one player or another.
Yeah, it's like not Senator Kelly, who only triggers when the first player is attacked because they have Senator Kelly, right? Like,
right.
Doesn't matter who has it. They're coming after the captives.
Now, Daniel, do you remember back we did a shield campaign with Bill, and we had Laura out there, and we blocked with Laura. That was the name of our rescued captive, and she died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel bad. I still mourn.
We still mourn Laura.
I still mourn Laura.
Yeah. You mourn her, but you did throw her right in front of that minion to save yourself. Right?
That was fine. Whatever. I mean, according to the art, she probably should be able to take out one of these AIM guys with what I thought at first was a wine bottle because of Daniel's "What's on Your Mind Tonight," but I believe it is a fire extinguisher.
I think it's a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
At first too, I thought he was hitting someone with a top hat, and then I realized what this is.
that is an AIM guys. Yeah, beekeeper suit. Yeah.
Well, notice that she's hitting him from behind. This is like she's cold clocking him. He has no clue that this is coming.
Yeah, she's sneaking up.
Yep. Well, what she's doing is this guy is one of these AIM minions who is vulnerable, and she's taking him out. Because let's talk about that for a second, right? The alert level goes up by 2 different ways. Batroc attacks you, and you put an alert level thing on there. Or a character is defeated, except by consequential damage. So you can use an ally up because then they just kind of leave. They don't really die or anything, right? But if you defeat a minion or you chump block with an ally and you just leave their body in the hall, the alert level goes up. So you want to take advantage of vulnerable minions and you don't want to chump block, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and like, thanks for bringing that up, Steve, about like the minions here and how they add to the threat level, because it can be easily missed, I think, from that environment, because it mentions consequential damage that you're thinking only when allies are defeated that it goes up. No,
Right.
no. It's characters. All right. So that's a big part of this. You can't go making a whole bunch of noise in the halls by whacking people to death.
Yeah, I like the theme where you have to spend some resources to like drag someone into the closet or dump them down the
Yes.
garbage chute or whatever it might, put them in the laundry bin. It's like, yeah. Costs you a little bit to do that. It's great. I think it's fun.
Well, next week, I'm sure we'll talk more about the scenario as a whole. I think we can spoil a little bit and say we're pretty positive about it as a group of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, absolutely. The main schemes are really just from the outset. I love that the main schemes have this story to them. It's one of the more story-esque sets of main schemes, and it's very reminiscent of the Collector 2, right? The escape from the museum,
Mm-hmm.
where you have this large amount of threat that you have to get down, or a little bit of maybe the Sinister Six, where you're trying to get a bunch of threat down. So it has that alternate win condition piece, but the story, the evolution of the story through it is really fun. Very thematic. It's great. Love a good story.
These main schemes, it's really telling us what the heroes are trying to do, right? They're infiltrating the AIM embassy and, they're illegally breaking and entering into a sovereign nation's embassy and how they're traveling around, right? And they're trying to kidnap these people who are just hanging out here, right? They've got little room and board here that's like a little Airbnb, and these heroes are coming in and just snatching them away. So
Perspective is everything, folks.
that's right. And Batroc is just like, he's just in charge, so he's like, I gotta keep these guys out. So yeah, he's hired to protect this location. So all right. I can't wait for next week. But until then, Scott, how are the people going to talk to us if they want to?
Well, if you want to correct our pronunciation or tell us about how Captain America was right to thumb his nose at that Frenchman for speaking French, how dare you? But you may reach us. You can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardan, Big Fun Love, and Lexicon. Now, if you like our show, tell your friends. And if you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Batroc, take us out.
Nom de chien, your insolence is insupportable, insufferable. For that you shall pay en mille fois.
Bien dit.
Nom de chien is like name of the dog.
Yep.
It's sort of like, oh golly gee golly, what curse. I had to look it up. I'm like, what does this mean?
I was going to change it to something else, but we're a family show.
I love it.
Even in French.
He uses it all the time. He's just like, oh gosh, like he's a gentleman. So
he's a good guy.
He's not
I like him.
Yeah, he's a pretty reasonable, gentlemanly individual.
Sacre bleu!